Hi everyone, my name is Holly Farmer and I'm the McKinney Vento and the Foster Care Liaison for Hall County Schools. Melissa Satilovich will be transitioning into the role of McKinney Vento Liaison during this school year, so at some point you're going to be working with both of us. I'm going to give you a brief overview of the McKinney Vento and the foster care programs and what is needed as far as identification and coding go. So the McKinney-Vento Homeless Assistance Act requires that each state ensures that all homeless children have equal access to a public education. All school systems have a homeless liaison who serves as the child's advocate for access to education. It's important to be clear that McKinney-Vento is about access to education regardless of the child's homeless status. So eligibility for McKinney-Vento is made on a case-by-case basis. Every situation is different, and it's reevaluated at the beginning of each school year, so it can span school years. There's no limit on the number of years that a family can be identified as homeless. So a homeless child or youth is defined as an individual who lacks a fixed, regular, or adequate nighttime residence, and this term includes children and youth who are, and if you'll look at the referral form, it kind of gives an overview of some of those circumstances. So it includes children and youth who are staying in a shelter or transitional housing, sharing the housing of others due to loss of housing, economic hardship, or similar reason, and we refer to these students as doubled up. Which is a lot of our population, a lot of our homeless population. They could be living in a car, a park, campground, public space, abandoned buildings, substandard housing or similar, living in motels, hotels, trailers, campgrounds due to alternate adequate accommodations. It could be a student that is unaccompanied, so they have to be unaccompanied and also meet the definition of homeless, and then it also covers some of our migratory families. So that's just an overview of what McKinney-Vento and what homeless covers. Students in foster care were covered under the McKinney-Vento Act until 2016, but they're now covered under an additional provision under ESSA. So students covered under McKinney-Vento have the right to remain in their school of origin for the remainder of the school year, even if they become permanently housed during that school year, or they can attend where they are currently zoned to attend, if that is what the family chooses to do. Students that are in foster care have the right to remain in their school of origin for the duration of the time that they are actually in foster care. So aside from remaining in their school of origin, there are other resources available to foster students and McKinney-Vento students. Immediate enrollment is one of those, and if students are missing necessary documents that other students would necessarily need to be enrolled, these students are automatically enrolled and then they have additional time to get those documents together. Some other things that they're eligible for: transportation to their school of origin, free and reduced lunch, tutoring, and along with other resources as well. So if a family mentions that their living circumstances could possibly qualify them for McKinney-Vento services, or if a family marks that they would like to speak with a homeless liaison on their forms they fill out for enrollment, then the school counselor needs to be notified to complete a McKinney-Vento referral, what's on the screen now, and sent to the homeless liaison to determine eligibility for that. Okay, so what's on your screen right now is part of the residency information on the student registration form. So under, let's see, do you live in the Hall County School System districts? Do you live in the school attendance area in which you're applying? Underneath those two, it says, please check here if any of the following apply to the student's current living arrangements and you are interested in speaking to a homeless liaison regarding services and assistance for which you might qualify. So if a family marks that they are interested in services through the homeless liaison, then that needs to be a referral to the school counselor, who can refer over to the homeless liaison for further follow-up with that family and resources. Okay, so what you're looking at now is a foster care referral form. So similar with McKinney-Vento, if a family that is coming to register mentions that, or if there's paperwork such as court documentation that's made available to identify a student as currently in foster care, the school counselor should be notified to complete the foster care referral form to the best of their ability with what information they have, and then send that over to the foster care liaison to follow up and see if there's any resources that might be available for the students. It's good to remember that regardless if the families, are in need of resources or mention, that they want these resources, we do have to keep track of homeless and foster students for records for the Department of Education. So anytime that this information is made available at the school level, it definitely needs to be, a referral needs to be completed and sent over to either the foster care or the homeless liaison. Okay, and finally, once a student is identified as a foster student or McKinney-Vento eligible, data entry will then be responsible for updating the zoning enrollment code to either HM for homeless or FC for foster care, and this can be found on the screen under district defined elements, and that is under the enrollment tab for each student in their Infinite Campus account. So, so you click on the district defined elements and then you go to the zoning exception codes, and the drop-down box will either give you the option for HM or FC, depending on what the student is eligible for. So the foster care and the homeless liaisons update the schools monthly, just in case there's any students that were left off and need to be updated as far as their zoning exception codes go. So I think that is pretty much it. If you have any questions, you can definitely feel free to call or email me. And my email is holly.farmer@hallco.org, and then my office number is 770-967-5846. So thanks, and hope you guys have a great school year.